that statement should not just be thrown away with a wave of hand. It must be thoroughly looked into. Well, as regards,
so let it come in on so that we deal with the
I hope,
refinery and
good
move
morning,
to
Amici. This carpet that Balogun keeps talking, I hope the carpet will not be full, overfull. Everything swept under the carpet. Cockroaches swept under the carpet, lizards swept under the carpet, and monkeys that are eating money swept under the carpet as well.
You know when that happens and you stay on that carpet,
Yeah.
you get allergy. The dust under it to give, and you'll be sneezing out.
Seriously, I'm telling you.
And you'll be asking whether your village people are at work.
And that is what is happening. Nigerians are sneezing because those things are under the carpet, disturbing our peace. Amici, it's nice to be here once again. You know, there was a time Mele Kyari, former GMD of NNPC, said the Port Harcourt refinery was going to come up. And I said here that he's telling a lie, and I apologized by mentioning that he's telling a lie. And as the day go by, we're beginning to see, really, was there a rehabilitation of our refineries? Yes, there was, to an extent. I interacted with my friends.
There were visits.
Yes, I interacted with my friends in the labor.
Went in, saw huge work done,
yes.
And the refinery is functional.
Yes.
That's why we were saying NNPC should speak up.
Yes, I interacted with my friends in Pengassin and Nupeng, and they confirmed that yes, there was rehabilitation and the production actually started. But Amici, if you listen to the House of Rep yesterday, they were pointing at the NNPC, saying that
is it the Senate? Or Senate?
I think it was Senate. Yeah, they say we are not saying the chairman was saying we are not saying you stole 213 billion. We are saying 213 billion is unaccounted for. It's just a statement.
Come and tell us.
Tell us.
No. Where this money is.
Don't be offended. We're not saying you stole it, but we're saying it is unaccounted for. Where is the money? Now, Nigerians have asked questions. How much has been sunk into rehabilitating the NNPC, the refineries? Have we recovered that money? Have profit been made on that money? Dangote is an authority, whether he's a competitor or not. People say he wants to monopolize the sector. That's why he's speaking this way. Yes, if he monopolizes it and we get the benefit of our natural resources, why not? But the Balogun has sent a message to
the
NNPC.
So you think monopoly is not a problem?
It's a big problem. Yes, I'm not saying, just like the issue of one party that people are talking about. It's a big warning. If I say it here, they might not listen to me. But a Dangote saying that your refinery will not work. It's like a peer group. You pointing hand at your fellow man, say you can't have a family, you can't run a family. That is what they are saying. It's an insult. A one man pointing at the Nigerian government, telling you cannot work. I think NNPC should bury their heads in shame or come out boldly and tell us, no, we will work.
No, they will not bury their heads in shame. They will state their position. What Dangote said may not be the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a businessman.
Yes.
Even though when we know there are semblance of truth in what he has said, Obasanjo has variously said NNPC cannot run this refinery. That was why he sold it off to Dangote. And is Dangote
refinery
and embittered that Yar'Adua took that deal back away from him?
But you see, Amici, the world is listening to us. And Dangote is an authority world over. And if he speaks in this manner, the world quickly grab it. I say, okay, yes, so they can't stand. So I think NNPC should react quickly. So the image is already battered by so many visa, whatever. We cannot be having this.
We will have to go to another issue now. But remember, I have raised issues, concerns about. I was happy the refineries were being rehabilitated, but I wasn't happy that NNPC will continue to manage them. I said repeatedly, if you're another listener of this program, I said NNPC has a history of mismanaging refineries. That all they needed to do immediately after that rehabilitation,
PPP,
concession it. Use the LNG model. Exactly. LNG, we built the LNG in the South. We gave the multinational oil companies 51% equity ownership controlling, and we retained 49%. Because if you give Nigerian government the majority share, they will run it aground, they will loot it to death. And even, when a human being dies, you bury the person, but the skeleton will remain there for hundreds of years to come. But the way they will loot the dead body, the skeleton will be broken and dismembered within months. So my concern was NNPC retaining ownership and management. Before long, that of one of them in Port Harcourt shut down. And if perhaps full photo of NNPC, if he had rehabilitated, take your hands away from the operation. It's been proven over time that we cannot do it. Let's quickly go to the local government autonomy. Payment of allocation.
I thought the vice president comment was on OPL, and which is linked to the petroleum that we're.
Yeah, okay. Let's start with the vice president.
Directly links because talking about OPL.
Yeah, the Mohammed Adoke book.
Yes.
The role he played and the allegations that came out, and the vice president was. But perhaps to tell our listeners, you have heard the stories, but it's our responsibility here to tell you about the color of the water that passes under the bridge. All these things about NNPC, all these about EFCC probe and all that, there's more that meets the eye. Now, it's no secret that there is a contest between the CPC group in the APC and the ACN. Recall a book came out for one of the spokespersons of the former President Muhammad Buhari, Garba Shehu, and the CPC elements were making statements that no one man contributed strongly to the victory of Muhammad Buhari as president in 2015. That all this while Buhari had the 12.5 million votes, that the other elements, not making reference to the ACN, just scrapped about 3 million votes to add to it to pave the way for the victory of APC. In other words, they were downplaying the role played by Tinubu and the ACN. And Tinubu people have been fighting back. I know the recent probe of the NNPC now, it was NNPC under Buhari. Is there a link? I'm not saying, but it's a question I'm leaving for you. Is there a link between the probe and let's dig deep at what they did and see the rots they left behind? If you take a look at the ADC now, those that are driving it are the CPC elements, the coalition people. They are leaving the APC in droves, leaving the
the faction of the APC coming to the ADC are the CPC people.
They are the CPC people.
Then the faction of the PDP coming are the new PDP people.
Yeah, so the old ACN still holding down the APC and trying to expand and consolidate. So for you to understand that beyond this, it could have a wider implication. But let's go to the
Vice President.
The Vice President's statement.
Yes, let me say one thing. The statement that was actually made about how Buhari emerged as president was actually made by an ACN person. Okay. Boss Mustapha was Deputy National Chairman of ACN.
Okay.
He participated in the talks that led to the merger, and he played a very key role. I do not know now whether ACN is body within the APC, the ACN block within the APC is still intact, or they are at power now, and so maybe some of them who are not enjoying the power may not be. Or, like I said on this program yesterday, it may be a sign of an underground current of friction that is yet to blow open at a larger scale. But I think it's one issue we deal with another day. On May 14, 2013, former President Goodluck Jonathan declared state of emergency in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. And if you read the first book by Adoke, Mohammed Bello Adoke, as Attorney General, he devoted a chapter in his first memos on that issue. And even the memo he raised, which is sent to Jonathan. And now Jonathan listened to him, gave him a listening here.
What did the memo say?
The memo says that apart from the 1963 Constitution, the Republican Constitution of 1963, the current Constitution, which we have, even the Second Republic Constitution, and the current Constitution which we have, does not empower anybody to remove any elected official, even a councillor.
That's in the declaration of state of emergency.
Yeah, in the declaration of emergency.
So those state of emergencies were declared by the executives, the governors remain and all that.
Yeah, he provides for the whole chapter, and he praised Jonathan for listening to him and for giving listening ears and adhering to advice he gave to him.
So that was what the vice president was making reference.
And then for me,
that the initial thinking was to remove him from office.
But it's not the only one. It was going to be removed along with the then governor of apart from Borno. It was also the then governor of Yobe and Adamawa State, where because of heightened activities of insurgents, that was the reason for it. And for me, I praise Jonathan. I praise him just as Aduke praised him in that book, that he listened to advices. The advice came from I didn't even know at first say that Tambuwal was involved, because they are the one that we probably
he was the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, will be determined by them. It's a good thing, but one thing which I want to say on this issue that bothered me since yesterday is this: does it mean if the vice president can come out openly in that manner, does it mean that there's no consultation, a basis of consultation between two people who won election on the joint ticket?
One has the executive power, the other is a spare tire.
Whether it's a spare tire or not, they were both on the ballot.
To Lagos from Abuja, some people will check the 4 tires of their vehicle if they're going by road. It's a few that remember there's a spare tire. Let's see whether it's still filled up.
Well, I think it raises one fundamental issue, that if two people are on the ballot, joint ticket, at least there must be some form of consultation or the other in determining. It's not even under these things I'm saying so because even under an unelected government, you recall the will of Ukiwe and Babangida, and journalist has Ukiwe. Why did you decide to take us to OIC? And Ukiwe said, was I consulted? I didn't know anything about it. I read it.
And that was how he was removed.
He said,
Chief of Staff.
He said, I read it in the newspaper just like every other Nigerian. So it shows that too much power in the hands of one man is detrimental to governance.
Maybe we are looking at presumptions now. Maybe he was consulted and his advice not taken. Maybe, who knows, till they speak up. But I wonder what will be going on in the president's camp since yesterday. Coming out publicly to make that statement. This president knows how to get rid of deputies. He got rid of 2 in Lagos. They'll be saying, do we move against him or do we tolerate him till 2027?
The vice president is a man I revere a lot. I respect him for his boldness to speak up in most occasions. And he has done that again yesterday. But Amechi, will I say probably he is swimming on a very high tide ocean.
Did he sign his death warrant?
Because Jonathan is one man revered very well in Nigeria. And if 3 states were penciled down for state of emergency, and you say you are most demonized. No, I don't think that is right. I think his statement is now demonizing Jonathan because if Jonathan listened, he was called as a listening president. He didn't take the action. If he had insisted, those states, the governors would have been removed. Just like what is happening in Rivers State.
When he throws in the apparatus of state power.
Now he's in APC, Tambuwal is in PDP. He's commending Tambuwal. This is Nigerian politics. I think the vice president did very well for himself, but I don't know if he did very well for his
political future.
Yeah, exactly.
Many have said the first